Most of our dogs are coming from the South. However, we do also rescue local dogs in certain cases. We rely on our leadership team to handle any requests to rescue dogs and to choose the dogs we take into the program. Our dogs are coming from all kinds of scenarios. So, whether they're on a kill list at a shelter, a stray, um, abandoned in a home, neglected, found somewhere, surrendered by someone, that's where we're getting all these dogs from. And so it's it's by the discretion of the co-founders and the leadership team on which dogs come into the program, and but we're constantly getting requests to help dogs. So there's never a shortage of dogs that need our assistance. Overview of fostering, the foster care program. So, your responsibilities as a foster include caring for your dog, administering the monthly heartworm, flea, and tick preventative, and really just observing them, getting to know them really well so that you can pick the right home for them, because you have that responsibility along with your adoption coordinator to choose the right home. It's really important that you really get to know them. And also part of it is the rehabilitation, it's the training, it's figuring out where can we help this dog, where what can I teach this dog that could make them better at being adopted, more adoptable. um, Taking care of any vetting, health wise, health related, and also promoting them for adoption. So marketing them, taking good photos, writing a bio, these are all the responsibilities of a foster. These are some of our rescue partners and why we rescue from the South. So it'll give you a little bit more of an idea. If you ever have a chance to visit the South, we encourage that. We would love for you to see what life is like down there, because it is very different from here, and it'll set you on fire for rescue if you actually see it firsthand. So, getting your first foster in the foster match process, we've already gone through this a little bit, but again, step one is always the foster request form. There's some links here that are probably a really good idea for you to read up on as much as you can. We are an all breed rescue, so we are trying to rescue all kinds of dogs, all breeds, all ages, all sizes. And so we encourage our fosters when they come on board to be open and available to different types of dogs. If your criteria for fostering is that you only want dogs under 30 pounds and puppies, you can get in line, and you might wait a while for a foster that is available for you, because there's a lot of fosters that have that criteria. Um, and unfortunately, we don't only rescue small dogs, we also rescue big dogs. And so unfortunately, if everyone just wants a small dog, those big dogs don't get the fosters that they need, and they end up sitting in their southern foster homes way longer than they should. So please be open. If there's a breed of dog that you're unsure about, that you've never had really exposure to, feel free to contact your adoption coordinator, and she can put you in touch with the behavior team, or myself, and we can talk to you about these breeds. We can talk to you about different dogs, and how to manage certain behaviors, and so that way you can kind of broaden your horizons and maybe foster a dog that is not necessarily on your radar. So again, just to reiterate what I said earlier, once you submit the foster request form, the foster placement coordinators are going to send you some suggestions, and then you will choose the dog that you want to foster. You'll contact the foster in the South, talk to them, and then confirm. Once that confirmation happens, then the dog's transport is booked. So that's the next step. Transports happen with a lot of different companies. There's a lot of logistics that go along with the transport. So we will keep you notified on where the dog is coming from and where they're going to be delivered to, and what time and the date and the location that you can go pick them up. It will be best if you can pick them up yourself, but if you need assistance, you can utilize that transportation driver request form. Do read through this very carefully. The biggest thing you want to remember when you're picking your dog up from transport is that that dog is probably very stressed and a flight risk. So you want to be cautious about getting them safely from the transport vehicle into your vehicle and into your home. So before you go pick them up, make sure your home is ready for them. You don't want to be stopping at the pet store to go pick up supplies or food because you forgot to do that. You have plenty of time to prepare. So prepare, and then be very conscientious when you go to transport to pick them up. Bring an extra leash and all these good things. Just it's a matter of safety and just making sure that they are secured, um, and in your vehicle safely, and go home safely, especially the first day, and really really watching them the first weekend and making sure that they're getting comfortable. They're going in that direction where they're starting to trust you and become more comfortable. So dog introductions, when you bring them home, you use your judgment in terms of when is a good time to introduce them to the family and the pack. And sometimes it may be that they're really well adjusted and they seem happy, and you might want to do a pack walk and then introduce them slowly, one by one with your dogs right away. I prefer doing slow introductions. So when they come home, I introduce them to their space that I've prepared for them, which is usually gated off into a room with a crate and their supplies. And I get to trust them first, like, and they trust me first. So we bond and we spend time together before I are involve them in meeting the rest of the family. Um, when I feel the foster is ready, then I will do a pack walk, and I will introduce the foster dog to each of my dogs one on one, and just have a lot of supervision and allow the dogs to get used to each other slowly. Sometimes that means using baby gates for a few days, and sometimes that means using baby gates for a few weeks. It really depends on the dog, and every single dog is different, and it will depend on your pack as well. So if you have any issues with dog introductions and you need help, contact your adoption coordinator and she'll put you in touch with the behavior team to assist with that. Here are some really good tips on the first week with your foster, so definitely read through this and click on the links. This will definitely help you to have a good experience. Cat introductions, again, these are all really, we want you to be prepared for what's to come. So read through it and make sure you're comfortable with what's expected of you. If you are well prepared and you follow these instructions, the likelihood that this will be a really successful adjustment and transition into your home in the beginning is going to be very high, very good. So this is what we're hoping for. We're trying to set you up to succeed and the foster dog up to succeed. Also keep in mind that the first week with you, the foster dog is adjusting. It takes them a long time to adjust. Some dogs take a week, some take longer than a week, some take a month. And we really don't know how long they're going to be with you. So you in all cases you have to use your good judgment, and you have to watch their body language, and just when in doubt, take it slow and give them space and allow them to decompress, and don't overwhelm them with too much too quickly. So, you know, don't bring them to people's homes or invite too many people over. If people come over, make sure that they're in their safe place behind the gate. You don't want them rushing up to the door to meet guests and new people, especially when they first arrived and you're not sure of how they're going to react to these new people that they've never seen before. Same thing goes with anytime they're amongst your family, your kids, your dogs, your cats. You want to supervise them. You don't know them that well, and you don't know a lot of their history. We don't know some of their history. So it's really important that you are proactive in supervising them, in being mindful of where they are and what they're doing at all times. And if you can't do that, then put them somewhere safe where they're away from children and other animals. So in their safe place, either in their crate or behind a gate somewhere in a room where you can kind of keep an eye on them, but they're doing their own thing for a while. The term of fostering will vary depending on the dog that you choose. So puppies tend to go really quickly. Any young dog that's good with everyone and every animal will probably get adopted pretty quickly. Certain breeds will not get adopted as quickly. It might take a little longer to find the appropriate home for them. If a dog has issues with other dogs or is good with females and not males, things like that. Any kind of specification, or when their criteria narrows down, like they have separation anxiety or they're fearful, then yes, that might take a little longer to find them the right home. We really want to find them a home that's going to work for them long term. So we do not operate on a first come first serve basis. We operate on what's in the best interest of the dog. So anytime you're trying to make a decision about your foster dog, that's the question you want to ask yourself. What is in the best interest of this dog? And so if an application comes in and you feel like it's not a good fit, then you deny the application, you wait for the next one. Because of that process, because we're so specific and we really want to find a good match, it could take longer, and the length of stay in your foster home may be longer because of that. And we definitely don't want to ever rush a dog into an adoption because we have something planned or a vacation. I'll get to that later, but if you have vacation planned, or if you have a prior commitment, or if something comes up in your life and you simply can't accommodate the foster anymore, just contact your foster placement coordinators and we'll work with you. We'll try our best to move the dog as quickly as possible into another foster home, either for a temporary period of time or for a permanent period of time. Promoting your foster dog, we've already sort of went into this. High quality photos are critical. I can't even stress that enough. On Pet Finder, your foster is going to be competing with thousands of other dogs for attention. A photo is what gets someone to click on them and read their bio. And so if you have trouble taking high quality photos, ask a volunteer for help, or go on the community page, see if there's another foster in your area that could come over and maybe take some photographs and help you. Events also are a great way to get the dog some exposure, and again, social media. So we've already gone over Facebook, collars and preventatives. We've gone over that. Dog parks are really high risk, and we encourage you not to do that, not to take your foster to a dog park. A lost or stolen dog, we've gone over. Definitely watch that video. Behavior help. Here under behavior help, you'll see this little drop-down tab with more links. These are such great information that every foster should be aware of. The more you foster, the more knowledge you will gain, and it will serve you well going forward. Veterinary care. So as I mentioned earlier, every dog that comes to New England is completely vetted. They're spayed and neutered. They have their rabies vaccine, distemper, bordetella. They've been fecal tested, microchipped, and heartworm tested. If they're positive for heartworm, we will treat the heartworm normally before they travel. So when they come to you, they should have complete vetting. It's your responsibility to look through their paperwork that comes with them and make sure that vetting is complete, that there's no red flags, there's nothing of concern, and to also be mindful of when these vaccines happened and when they're due again for vaccines. If the dog is with you for a long period of time, you may need to renew those vaccines while they're with you. Making sure that they've had a heartworm test within 6 months of adoption. That's a big one. Make a note to yourself on your calendar. When was their last heartworm test? When are they due again? And it's your responsibility to contact the vet services coordinator when you feel that there's a medical issue, like you've contacted the medical concerns coordinator and there is a medical issue, you need a vet appointment. That's all on you to be responsible and proactive in contacting the right people within Paws New England so that we can get it addressed. We definitely don't want a dog going to an adopter with an undiagnosed, unresolved medical issue. That just looks really bad on the organization, and we really strive to be professional and efficient, especially when it comes to the dog's medical care. Remember that all records need to be sent to the records coordinator, anything that's generated while the dog is in your care. So when you go to a vet appointment, make sure you get a copy of that vet visit and send that to Paws New England. Safety. We've had some really tragic things happen, and so that's why we have this this safety tab here. Please read through it. Make sure you take collars, harnesses off the dog when they're in the crate. Some dogs are not used